One of the more popular Friday Night Funkin' ships is Whitty and Carol. The internet went absolutely crazy shipping these two, and the developers actually approved of it. Carol's calm, laid-back personality mixed with Whitty's more intense, aggressive personality makes them a perfect match in a way. Carol is that person that can always calm Whitty down and soothe his heart, while Whitty knows that Carol is dependable, patient, and won't abandon him. Makes perfect sense that the internet shipped these two. Next on our list is going to be Hex and Whitty, and I understand why the internet ships these two. You have two beings that are almost human but not quite. Both of these characters are made in a facility or a factory, and they spent a large portion of their lives alone. It makes perfect sense in my mind why these two characters would gravitate towards each other, although I do much prefer the Carol Whitty ship. Cervante and Ruv is such a popular ship that the developers even made a mod and a whole backstory that entertained this idea of them having children. Basically, Sulliver and his sister Razazi are both Ruv and Cervante's children. They live in this alternate universe that is just called the Void, where basically they live in an empty white space and all they have is portals and books to entertain themselves. They can travel to different dimensions, but they cannot go to the dimension that is canon to the game right now, or the world will basically explode. And the only way that the two children can actually be really in the main world is if Ruv and Cervante actually get together as a couple. Now, even though this was made more as a joke and it's not officially canon, it still makes perfect sense to ship these two. Not only were Ruv and Cervante childhood friends, but they've also spent so many years in their adult life together. Now, if you add on to the fact that Ruv has vowed to protect Cervante for eternity, their whole relationship seems like a romance fantasy novel, and I am all for them being shipped. Now, this next ship is probably the weirdest on the list, and that is Senpai and Monster, aka Lemon Demon. And while it is weird, I kind of understand it on some level. Monster is a demon, while Senpai has this angry demonic spirit living inside him, right? So the two gravitating towards each other isn't so crazy. On a metaphorical level, we know that Senpai is beautiful on the outside, but on the inside, he's actually very ugly. The monster in this ship can kind of reflect how ugly Senpai's heart is, and that may be why people are shipping these two together. Don't flame my metaphor in the comments. Annie and Garcello is one of my favorite ships. Once people figured out that Garcello wasn't Annie's father, considering that he was only 26 years old when he died, the ship really took off. Both of these characters are very laid back, and in some of the artwork that gets thrown around, you can see that they are very close, so it makes sense to me that people with similar personalities would kind of gravitate towards each other. Ayana and Tabby has become a very popular ship, and I understand why. Tabby is a character that people really sympathize with because of the way that he was taken advantage of and simply betrayed by girlfriend and her father. I think that people chose to pair Tabby with Ayana because both of these characters really understand what it's like to have their heart broken, and also because of the irony that comes with boyfriend's ex getting together with girlfriend's ex. I think people just love that delicious drama. Ruv and Whitty being shipped kind of surprised me, but I get it in some way. Both of these characters have very loud, intense songs and strong personalities, while also creating an interesting contrast. Ruv at first sight doesn't really look dangerous or scary, while Whitty is literally a living bomb. Both characters also had childhoods where they spent most of their time alone because they had no family. It makes sense in my mind why these two would gravitate towards each other and maybe even fall in love. With that being said though, Ruv and Cervante is still top 3 ships. Cappy and Girlfriend is an interesting ship because I don't think people even care about Girlfriend in this ship really. People just seem to really think that Cappy is a hot furry. It is also clear that some people in the community don't really think that Girlfriend is in love with Boyfriend, but just waiting for the next best thing. So in the mod where Cappy wins, she walks off with him, it kind of feeds into that narrative. But I believe that Girlfriend and Boyfriend are actually truly in love. Now the Boyfriend Pico ship has received a ton of hate, even though the creators seem to be fully on board with the ship. I mean, because in reality, who could blame Boyfriend for falling in love with Pico? I mean, redheads are pretty hot. But on a serious note, like, the community needs to chill with all this anti-LGBTQ talk. It's just really sad how people get so mad over video game characters and their sexuality. Skid and Pump are next on my list, but not for the reasons that you may think. I need people to stop shipping these two, or at the very least, stop making this artwork. Skid and Pump are both little boys, and they are ages 8 and 7 respectively. And some of the artwork on the internet right now is just disgusting and creepy, considering that these are 2 children. There are so many characters in this fandom that are of age. Make artwork of them, but stop being creeps. Comment down below what ships you would like to see for part 2 of this video.